I have a secret. I love to shop for art supplies. But what if you don't know anything about art, but you want to buy a gift for an artist? Well, come along because I'm going to take you through some of my favorite, most used art supplies so you can get some great gift ideas. Let's start with paper. These art supplies are in no particular order, and I'm hoping to include supplies that are both for the student or beginner artist as well as your more advanced. So first up, paper. Arches. For me, the arches is at the top of the list here. And it's available in different forms. You can get them on these blocks, which is very convenient because you don't have to worry about, and here's the cold pressed, you don't have to worry about taping your paper down or stretching it because it is glued down onto a block and you're able to remove it at the end. Okay, so that's that form, and that comes in different sizes as well as paper surface sizing as well. Like the hot pressed, great if you're doing like a pen and ink with the wash, great for that. The cold pressed is a little bit more rough on the surfacing. And then they do have a rough, which I don't currently have any of. And then you can buy them, if you choose not to buy them on the blocks, you can buy them in sheets where you could just tear them off and then you can tape them down or however. And those come in different sizes as well. Highly recommend that because the importance of a quality paper is like having a bad hair day on senior picture day. I mean, it's just, your paper can really affect whether or not, especially if they're a beginner and they're just starting out, whether they give up or not. It can become so frustrating at times if you're not using a good quality paper. A student, what I would recommend for a student are checking into these art journals. My favorite is the Pentel, and it has a little strap that helps hold it. Has a little pencil or pen holder there, which I never use. But yeah, I keep swatches in here. I keep little studies. I just highly recommend the Pentel. And to me, it's a nice budget friendly. It's middle line here. I did when I first started, had one of these from Reflections. It is not my recommendation. Not that there was anything really horribly wrong with it, just that in the end I didn't like the paper sizing, the tooth of the paper. And in the center here, as you can see in the beginning here, it fell apart from the spine. So this was not, I would not recommend it. Even if it's just for paint swatches, I don't recommend it. I do, however, recommend the Pentel. Okay, so as far as journals go, and I have those in different sizes too. I have a little travel one here. For this one is specifically for my plein air, which I've only done one, but now that fall's here, hopefully I can get back out there and do it. But okay, let's move on to some other budget-friendly paper. I've done a review on the
Hanemule.
Um, I've done a review on this. I think it's a good budget-friendly paper. Um, yeah, so check that out. Definitely. Another one that I really like is the Paul Rubens, and this one is on a block. And the thing I love about the size of this and the surface sizing, it's really good. I found for cards. The size is perfect. I've got the 5x7. Is it as good as the Arches? No, but we're talking budget friendly, student friendly, and the Paul Rubens I do recommend. Okay, so next we're going to move on to sketching or drawing tools. We're talking about inks and pencils. Starting with either a mechanical pencil or my Mars Techno drafting pencil, and I always make sure that I use the hardest lead, which is an H, in them. That way, when I go over them with my watercolors, they don't run. For pens, I just bought me this new set of microns because I've used up a lot of my other ones. But the microns from Pigma, these are the fine liners, and these are in black. But they do come in different forms and colors as well. Like this one's the brush pen, and it's in a brown. The thing that's great about these are they last a long time. When the ink is dry, they are waterproof, which means you can go over them without worry of smear. The next ink that I really enjoy is this Pentel brush pen, and it comes with a ink cartridge inside that can be filled. This is the original one that came with it, but I can refill those with the with ink. And one that I highly recommend and I use with my dip pen sometimes is this platinum carbon ink. Again, these, when they are completely dry, are waterproof. So, watercolorist right there. Talking about ink, sometimes instead of using watercolors, I like to use inks similar to the way I would use watercolors. And these are originally for marbling ink, but I also have another video that I'll be linking down in the description that shows me using these as watercolor inks, and I really like them. And they're really budget friendly. Another choice in inks are the Derwent. The Derwent have these little paint pan sets that would make a wonderful gift. This one's the Inktense one. It's a little bit dirty inside. And I also have done a review on these, and they come with a little brush, a water brush. So the thing that's awesome about the Inktense is they're very much like watercolors in my opinion. The only thing I would be aware of is on the black, you can't really use it for just, You can use it for your line work, but even though it's water resistant, it's not waterproof, meaning it may move on you like it did me whenever I used it. So, but I still was able to achieve everything I wanted to with this palette. If someone's more into pen and inks, this may be a good one for them. Also, if they're into graphite or lead, Derwent makes a graphitent one that I adore. See, I've been loving on it a lot. I don't know what it is about it. I just really enjoy using this little paint set. And it's not paints, they're kind of like graphite, but it's tinted with pigment. So yeah, I'll also include a link to a review on this as well. Highly recommend it as a gift idea. All right, so that about covers the drawing tools. Let's move on to paint. As far as student grade paint, I highly recommend the Winsor and Newton Cotman. I've not had any problems using the Cotman. Matter of fact, I still have quite a few colors of Cotman on my studio palette. But this was my original, one of my originals. And yeah, it's not in its original form because I've taken pans out and mixed and mingled them with other ones, which is great about this because some of the student ones, you're not able to remove the pans, but this one you are, and replace them with others. And so makes a wonderful little beginner's kit. If you are looking for something a little more, and the Cotman do come in tubes as well, so you can buy them open stock and put them in there. Another good student, what I would consider a student grade, or maybe your higher end of student grade, would be the Lucas and the Turner Artist Watercolor. They're really reasonable priced, and so are the Lucas. And I believe that Lucas has pan sets available. I'll be linking a couple of those as well. These, I would say, are a happy medium between student and I'd say your more high quality professional. Now, if we're getting into more high quality, then we're talking about two favorites that I've used, because I haven't used all of them, y'all. You know, I'm just going on what I personally have used and experienced with. The Daniel Smith as well as the M. Graham. Love, love, love. Great paints. Both brands are awesome. You know, if I had to choose, my number one first favorite would be M. Graham. I haven't tried any of their paints that I do not just thoroughly enjoy using. The only downfall about the M. Graham that I could think of, I haven't experienced this, traveling with it in a hot climate, because they are honey based and they never completely really dry hard as a rock like some of the Daniel Smith one. Let's just, you know, I'm keeping it real here. They dry very, very, very hard. They re-wet really well. Another one I like, whites. I like to use the Winsor & Newton, the designer gouache, or titanium white opaque from M. Graham. These are really great as white watercolors. And even though this is a gouache, it is water soluble. I think either one of these whites would be great. A lot of watercolorists don't even use white, and that's cool, you know. So the next is, these are not watercolors, but I wanted to talk a little bit about gouache, because sometimes you just need a little gouache in your life. And they still are water soluble, so to me, they are very much like watercolors. They're not there to replace watercolors, but to enhance them, in my opinion. I don't use them that often. I've had this set here for a few years, and this is a budget-friendly, the Hemi Jelly Gouache. But what I did, not necessarily on purpose, is I let this dry out, and because I did read where some people have experienced some molding when they kept theirs wet, but mine just dried out anyway, probably because I left the lid off of it for too long and all that. But they re-wet just fine. I've used them just fine. I enjoy them. But they are more of a student grade. They sometimes can get a little bit chalky compared to your Holbein. Holbein, come on, let's face it. Holbein is just more of a higher end paint. I did have a swatch a minute ago with that on there. I did yesterday swatch out my Holbein ones. Here they are. Very bright and vibrant in color, and really no chalkiness that I can see. You're going to pay more for the Holbein, you know, but they are a better quality. The only thing I can see for a student would be the lack of colors. Okay, and let me explain to you. I am a limited palette type of gal. I love working with limited palettes. However, for a student, especially someone who is taking a class, they may quickly get frustrated with the lack of colors available, because when you're taking a class, especially in person, you need to try and kind of keep up. You don't want to be stopping and mixing. Oh, I need this green, or I need this purple, or it is good to learn to mix like that when you have the time to do it. Class time, I don't recommend, is the perfect time for that reason. All right, but yeah, so that is gouache. Another thing that's pretty popular, but I don't use very often, are the metallic watercolors. And this is from the Kiritaki. I hope I said that right. The starry colors. Now they make all different ones. I even saw the other day where they've now come out with a graphite one, which looks interesting. But yeah, so they have all different sets, very reasonable in price, and I love how nicely they re-wet, and they're very opaque. I don't think I have any swatches of them, but I enjoy using them. I don't use them very often because I'm more of a landscape artist and different animals, but I have used them for like frosting on Christmas cookies and different things like that, especially for the holidays. Really nice. So next, I think I am going to move on to brushes. show you some of my most used brushes. I love doing washes with this brush, and it came in a set. And it's called Benici. I think it was a really nice beginner set here, and I still use them. This one is one you'll see me use quite often for my washes. It's funny that I've bought other brushes and haven't even used them, like these. Barely ever used them, and I don't know why, but it's just one of those things. They're not bad brushes. The Artify ones, so I bought a set of those. I haven't had any problems using them. They're not my favorite. They're not my go-to, but they're still good, budget-friendly, student-friendly brushes. If we're going more up on the higher end of things, when I say higher, this is a happy in-between here. These silver black velvet. These are my most used. I use these the most out of all my brushes. They're very soft. They're really nice brushes. They can get a little pricey, but if you look around, you will find deals on them. And at the top of the line, I want to say this Princeton Neptune is more of your professional higher end. And this is called a Dagger Brush, and I use this for like grass or just when I really want to keep it loose. And again, oh, so soft. It's a joy to use. I wanted to show you this tin because you know, artists love their it's awfully dirty from my last painting, but I like to buy these empty metal tins and put my own paints in them and custom build the colors that I enjoy. So if you just really have no idea what to buy, every artist loves empty tins. I need more myself. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Look down in the description below for links to other reviews of products that I've mentioned on here, as well as my Amazon affiliate links. And so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.